Hi, Barbie friends and doll friends. Today we're going to be talking about 10 tips, hacks, and facts for February 2021. So I'm going to go into a lot of detail on some of the facts, and I'm going to be showing some demonstrations on some of the hacks. So I hope you'll stick with me. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you learn something. If there's something you want me to know that you know, then please share it, and I'll be glad to share it on a video. At the very end, I'm going to be sharing a doll that a YouTube subscriber had asked about and wanted to know if I had one, and I'm going to show this doll for you. And we'll do that at the very end. So it's an interesting doll and not a very well-known doll. So it's really pretty, and stay to the end with me, and hope you learned something. This is going to be a lot of fun. So let's get started. So let's get started with hack number 1. So for the first thing I want to do is show you how to get your midge and Marlowe flips. Look at this nice, beautiful flip that this midge doll has. Now look at this midge. Her hair is just kind of fussy and not very symmetrical, and I like this better. Maybe you like this better, but I like this better. So if you like this better, I'm going to show you how to get this, and it's really simple. Takes very little time. You can put a little more time in it if you want to, but the first thing you're going to do, let's just go through the process. First thing you're going to do, of course, is make sure that you have clean dolls, because I like clean dolls. So make sure your doll's hair is nice and clean. Put this down so you can see what I'm doing. So glasses. First thing is just to give your doll a good combing. Now the good thing about these midge dolls is they've kind of got this coarse hair, and this flip just kind of stays forever. It does not go away. So it just needs to be washed, and it will just it's like has a memory, and it'll automatically go back to that flip. So I take my finger and I just go around and give it a new fresh flip after it's been cleaned and dried. And I do let my doll's hair air dry. I don't blow dry them. So I don't know if it hurts to do that, but I don't. I let them air dry. And just a quick comb, just make sure there's no big tangles or anything. And you still got a kind of little messy flip there, but you got a pretty uniform flip. Now, I'm going to use a rubber band. I'm going to show you the rubber band that I'm going to use. It's going to be one like this. Now, I had bought some rubber bands at the Dollar Tree that were colored like this. This is blue. They came in blue and purple and yellow and white and many colors. And I tried these for a while, and they just kept pop, pop, pop. I tried them on the shoes. They would just go pop, 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 like popcorn. And they just did not hold up. So those rubber bands, I don't use them anymore. I still have plenty of them, and maybe I'll find another use for them, but they don't work on shoes and they don't work on hair. This, I don't remember if I got this at Walmart or CVS, one of those, but I'm sure it was not the Dollar Tree. So get a little bit more expensive rubber band, and they're still not high. They're probably $2-3 compared to $1. But these work, and you get a ton of them. So probably 50 or 100, I don't even remember. But these work great, and here's what you do. Very simple. You take the rubber band, put it over Midge's head and into that flip. Now right here in the front of her head, you're kind of going to pull her head back just a little bit and let the rubber band kind of slide under her neck so that it's not even visible from the front. So you put it under there. And then from there, pull out your comb again. And I like to use my fingers a lot because this hair is very bendable, very moldable. So you can just kind of, like I said, it has that memory, so it wants to go into the flip. All you got to do is just show it how, just train it a little bit more. just detail it. I can take my fingers and just kind of bend it, kind of squish it down, and it gets a nicer. Now this is just after a few seconds of doing this, and you can work with it as long as you want till you get it. You may want to pull it off and do it again if you missed a hair here or there. Sometimes if there's a little short hair sticking up, it's just not quite long enough, you just pluck that out. Because usually they do have plenty of, this one has plenty of hair, so one little stray hair, or you can smooth it down if you don't want to pluck it out. But this is just after just a few seconds of me working with it. I didn't really work with it that long, but you can work with it longer. You can brush it out a little more. I just, for time's sake, I'm not going to take as long. But see how nice and tamed it looks now. And this is how they came out of the box when you bought them new. They had this nice, firm, managed flip. And, you know, that's what Mattel seemed to do on most of their dolls. They used either rubber bands, strings, plastic, just to hold their hair in all these positions so they look nice and pretty in the box. And then when the kid buys them and then they open them and whoop, this comes out, that comes out in the hair, you know, they brush and comb it, and they were meant to be played with. So nothing was wrong with that. But now as a collector, I like to make mine look as close to original if I can, or as pretty as I can. Now, this not only works for Midge, this also works for Marlo Flip. So I'm going to show you a Marlo Flip. Now she's got a dark hair, and I would like to find a rubber band that's dark. This one has a clear rubber band, so this one's been holding up pretty good on her. But I would like to find some dark ones if I can. If not, a clear one will work well, as long as you get a little bit more expensive, not those really, really cheap ones at the Dollar Tree. Sorry, Dollar Tree. But anyway, there's some good stuff at the Dollar Tree now. I'm not dissing on the Dollar Tree, but the rubber bands, not so much. See, this Marlo Flip looks really super nice. And then I'm going to show you this Marlo Flip, one that I have not had time to work with. And she still, see, like I said, they got that memory. They really keep this nice firm flip in their hair. But if you want to make it look like this one, and I probably will do her hair like this, I just think it's much prettier. But it just time, and I have so many dolls that I don't get to all of them as often as I would like to. So Marlo Flip and Midge. If there's any other dolls that have that flip, you could use it on. And maybe there's some other styles you could use it. I just haven't experimented very much with this except on these two types of dolls. So here they are. I'll pull up these pretty dolls that look like they just came out of the box, and they're just so pretty, and I love them so much, and you will too. Number 2. So for number 2, I'm going to go over some commonly used Barbie terms, Barbie lingo. My daughter had brought it to my attention that I may be using some terms that some new collectors may not know what they are, and I hadn't thought about that, but so I'm going to go over some things, and some of these are going to be terms that you would see on eBay if you're looking for a certain doll and you may not know what the terms are or how to even look for it. So I'm going to run through these really quick, the terms, and then I'm going to circle back and give a little more detail about a few of them. So I'm going to read this just so I don't make any mistakes. And if I didn't bring up one that you think of, please let me know, because I can't think of everything, and I'll be glad to use it or share it in the future. So some terms is going to be like TNT, which is not dynamite, clone, MIB, NRFB, OOAK, Minty, played with, HTF, MOC, OSS, standard Barbie, standard Barbie, and then vintage and mod. So those are, MIDI and mini, one more I forgot, MIDI and mini. So those are just a few of the terms that I could think of. So I'm going to go back now and just give a little bit more detail about what those are. Try to make so TNT. Like I said, it's not dynamite. It's referred to a doll called a twist and turn. And if you've been in the Barbie world long, or if you've been playing with dolls as a kid, probably you knew, well, don't all dolls twist and turn? So they didn't at one time. So this is would be, and that's why they differentiate. I'm not good with pronouncing words sometimes, excuse me, but differentiate, tell the difference between an older one and then the newer ones, which were 67. So the twist and turn waist. So TNT means twist and turn waist. Okay. Clone. Clone is a term that's used for a doll or an outfit that is not Mattel. Now, Mattel was the standard, okay? Mattel was the ultimate teenage fashion model doll. So there was a lot of other companies that came out that wanted to get in on some of this action, get some money for these wildly popular dolls, but they didn't want to put some of the money into them that Mattel put into them. So they're a little less detail, a little less quality, and most of them have a tag inside that says Hong Kong. Now, Mattel always up to in the 60s, sometime during the 70s, they stopped with some outfits. They stopped tagging them and then they started back again. But anything from the up to probably 70, I would think. Don't quote me on that one, but at least a 69 and 0 would have the Mattel tags in them. So if it doesn't have a Mattel tag, it's probably not Mattel, unless it's a little bit later Mattel. And there's a Best Buy outfits that were not cloned that are Mattel, and those can be hard to know which ones are Best Buy or not clones, but it's just something you learn over time, I guess. But the clone outfits would have Hong Kong, and the snaps on them would not be quite as good a quality. Now I have quite a collection, and this is just a few things that I've been putting in this little box that I got not so long ago of clone outfits. Now this is an example of a really cute clone dress. This could probably go somewhere between $12 to $18 on eBay, I would think. This one is tagged. I'm going to see if I can dig this tag out so you can see it. And when you wash these, a lot of times these cheaper companies, the tags are paper and they will come apart and fall out. This one is pretty much there. And I don't know if you can see this, but it does say made in Hong Kong. I did wash this one and it didn't fall out, so I'm happy with that. So I prove that this is, and you can tell the style, the color, and it's got these little, I don't know what they call these little pom-poms down the side. And I really like this little dress. I've sold another one very similar to this in a different color before. But that's usually what clone means is any doll that's not Mattel. And they are, like I said, they're marked differently. Now, let me bring up this. There is some companies that did have a little bit better quality doll. And one of those, and it's kind of coming into its own now, and people don't even, a lot of times don't even put the word clone on an outfit. You just have to put the name, and that's Shillman. So the Shillman company, and I have a Shillman doll, I didn't get her down. Oh well. I do have a couple of the outfits I want to show you. Now, Shillman did not only have Hong Kong in there, their outfits are tagged with Shillman. This is a Shillman clone dress. Now, this is velvet, really light blue velvet with yellow lace puffy sleeves. It's got the darker blue velvet, and I think it faded just a tad when I did wash it, but it's not too bad. And then it's got the dark blue velvet here and here. So it's three colors, the light blue, the dark blue, and the yellow lace. And this one has good, they do have the snaps. And this one has nice snaps. They're not discolored. So Shillman has made such good quality in a lot of their outfits that they're become, people can just pretty much on eBay, they may still put clone, but You can always just put Shillman and you're going to get a lot of hits on that because Shillman is becoming a more well-known doll maker, clothes maker that's a better quality. And there is others. This is just one that I wanted to bring up because I know a little bit more about them and I have a few of them. So this Shillman, and I'm going to show you, this is another Shillman that I have. Isn't this beautiful? This yellow, shiny, glittery, and those clothes seem to really be a hot item. The ones that have the glitter in them, shiny golds, and this is a yellow with gold, and get a little close, see how it shimmers, and it's lacy. And this is a Shillman, and I'm going to show you the tag in this, and this one is a little better quality, and it doesn't usually come out. Now this is going to say 1969, made in Hong Kong. On the flip side, it's going to say Shillman, Shillman. So we know this is a Shillman. This is a pretty good outfit, and I think it's probably, I'm going to guess, since I do a lot there, I can kind of guesstimate. I wouldn't let this go for less than 50, but I won't let it go for anything because I'm not selling it. But I've seen them go almost maybe $50, $60. These are pretty hot right now. So Shillman is pretty hot, and I have several Shillman outfits that I'm not selling unless I get a second one. I do have a second one of this, but it does need somebody that can work on clothes. So I may try to sell that one. I don't know. It just needs a little help. But let me move on. Clones. Now the initials that I used are like the MIB, NRFB, Men in Box, Never Removed from Box, One of a Kind, OOAK, HTF, Hard to Find, Men on Card. Okay, those are some terms that you may see when you're looking for something. So Men in Box, MIB, is going to be like a doll back here. A mint doll never taken out of the box. Never removed from box. Sometimes they use that. NRFB or NRFP, never removed from package. And a lot of times that refers to the clothing. And I have a mint never removed from package outfit right here. This is a Francie Becky, and that's something we'll have to talk about another time. It's the Becky doll, or the No Bar Becky doll. Hint, hint. So this would be referred to, and it just depends on the seller how they put these. And there's like a list. That's why I try to put them all down. Never meant on cards. Some of them on smaller packaging. This is an older one, so I don't know the year on this one, but it's probably 60s. This is 70. But some of them's on smaller cards, and they'll say men on a card because it's really not in a box. It's not in a package. It's just sort of a card. I have some of those, but didn't get those out. But we'll look at them at another date. So those are never removed from package, never removed from box, or men in box. OSS, original swimsuit. If you want one that's original swimsuit, a lot of people use that. And then vintage. The actual term vintage, I think I looked it up, and vintage just means a certain time of year, but it's become to mean people are calling everything vintage now. It's like from 2000. Oh, vintage. Well, maybe that's correct, but in reality, eBay and people that are really wanting what I refer to as a vintage doll is something that's pre-1973. Now, I may go a little further than that because I think up to 75 is prior to the superstar face. Is what I'm going to, when they've changed over the doll's face, is going to be everything that I personally consider vintage. Anything prior to the superstar face, which is going to be prior to 76, and I don't know why eBay hasn't moved it up to that, but that's their definition when you're listing an item. Vintage is going to be from like pre-1973. Mod. Mod is a term that means modern. And so mod dolls are from 67, and that was the time when they changed again. They had changed the doll. You could actually trade in your number 1 Barbie for a new twist and turn Barbie. Wonder how many actually did that. I don't know, but I would hate to think that I did that, even though there's some great twists and turns to think about handing in another one for a twist and turn. Anyway, you could do that. In '67, they offered this special trade-in, and there's a special box that says when you got this doll, it was a trade-in box, and they came in, trade in your doll, and you get this one, and they would have the new twists and turns in them. So the modern area are mod dolls. So anything mod is going to be, like I said, during that '60s time when the mini dresses came out, the psychedelic colors, no more bouffant hairdos or ponytails or bubble cuts. It's going to be long, stringy hair, and even the American Girl was out of style. So, yeah, the modern era was the new era for, I'm going to call it like the Beatle age. You know, the when the young people really took over. And Beatles and Barbies, that's the thing for me. I love Beatles and Barbies. So I need to do some videos with Beatles and Barbies. But that's kind of the time period when they had really started taking over and they had to update their look, and it's called mod for modern. So the mini and the midi, and that should be pretty easy to understand. Mini, of course, just refer to the mini dress, and midi refer to that dress as a little bit longer than the mini dress, maybe just slightly below the knee, and those were for the moms that didn't want their kids to be wearing a mini dress. And I actually had a cousin who got sent home from school in the '60s because her dress was too short. So that was life back then, and there was the mini dress and there was the midi dress. This may get a little complicated. I'm going to try my best not to get it too complicated. I'm going to run through them again like I did with the terms, and then go back and give a little more detail and show some examples of some beautiful dolls. So don't go away. Be sure to check that like button and subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you in my Barbie family. And as we move forward with this, and we're going to do some Barbies and Beatles stuff coming up. So if you love the Beatles, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to figure out a way. So come grow with me, and let's enjoy the world of Barbies and dolls. Okay, number 4. I'm going to talk about the Barbie types, the body types of the Barbie. There's several different types, and I'm probably going to leave one or two out because I try to do most of this stuff just off the top of my head and grab some examples, and grab some examples. But let's run through them real quick, and then I'll go back and give a little more detail. So you don't want to miss these details. They're very important, especially if you want to collect and know what you're getting. So, body types. So you're going to, and this is not going to include the 1, 2, 3, and 4 ponytail, okay? Because they're a separate identification all on their own. But all of them are Barbie only bodies. But I've done those in other videos. If you want to check some of my earlier videos that I made on ponytail Barbies, you can check some of those out. And I may do another one a little bit better than some of those later on, but this is going to exclude those. Let's just don't think about the 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? So let's start. You got the Barbie only body. You got the Barbie midge body. You got the bend leg bodies. And then you have the twist and turn bodies, or the TNT bodies. You have the living Barbie style. You have the busy hand Barbie. You have the talking type Barbie body. You have the walking Barbie body. Now, I'm sure I missed a few in there, but these are the main ones that I'm going to talk about today. If there's any ones that you want me to talk about, and I'll be glad to do it if I have an example and show it. So let's go back to the Barbie only body. The Barbie only body and the Barbie midge body. The only difference in those bodies, and I should have a new body here somewhere. Okay, this one is a midge Barbie body. It's hard body, hollow, doesn't bend the legs, doesn't twist and turn the waist. And I'm going to fix her hair real soon, so don't panic. She's going to be pretty real soon. Anyway, you can have the Barbie. Some of them's just going to have Barbie body back here. They're older than the ones that have the midge Barbie body. So this one is a Midge Barbie body. And no difference, but except they are older if they only have Barbie on them. They're a little bit older body than the ones that have the Barbie Midge body. Not a lot older, but they are older. Okay, so then you go on to the, what did I have? The bend legs. Now the bend legs, a lot of examples of those. Now the bend legs are going to be an American girl. The American girl who does not have a TNT waist, and you know what that means now. But she does have these great bendable legs. So that was a really new invention from Mattel. They came up with this bend leg. And lots of dolls start having this. So you're going to have the American Girl. This is just a bend leg, straight lace. American Girl. The Miss Barbie. Now Miss Barbie, I have a nice one, but I didn't get her out. I have this one that's kind of falling apart right here. And she's still Miss Barbie. The kind of creepy one has the bend legs and non-twist Barbie body. Miss Barbie. Who else? Ken and Alan also. They said they did it with the boy doll also. So there is a bend leg Ken and a big bend leg Alan. And of course, if you have one and you want to switch out the heads, their heads are a little harder to switch out than some of the Barbies because it's a little hard, but you can put them in hot water for a little while and do it pretty easily. But I do have a Ken and a Alan. I just didn't get both of them out, but they had they had that body too. There's a Skipper with that body. That's just the bend leg. Francie, of course.
Where's the Francie? I have the Francie somewhere here. I don't see my Francie. Oh yeah. I had her on the Shillman outfit.
That's just like the Barbie and Midge Barbie. This doesn't move at all. Or there's the one that has just the bend legs, and then of course the later one you're going to know is the twist and turn and the bend leg. But there is one, and I have one. I just, for time's sake, I just couldn't get everything out. But those, and then you have the talking Barbie, which, yeah, those bodies aren't too good. And I've talked about them before. They kind of fall apart. They're not good bodies, but those body types. And you have the walking. I did get out an example of the walking. I haven't talked about the walking one before, and she was in my fashion show that I did last week or a few days ago. And the Miss America doll was a walking doll. You can see she was, there were legs and her arms move back and forth. And they came in more than just Miss America. There's other Barbies that are walking dolls. So that's another body type, is the walking dolls. And the living Barbie is, there's the living Barbie, and then there's the live action Barbie. I think that's the only two that had that body style. They have flat feet, so you can't put those on the heels. They have really flat feet, and of course their wrists move and their arms will move out in this direction. And they don't sit very well. Their legs kind of splay out like this when you sit them, so I don't really like to sit the living Barbies or the live action Barbies too well. But that's a different body type. There's the busy hand body type, and the busy hand is her hand opens and closes, and her body is not a great body either. It's sort of like the talking Barbie. Their arms and their legs fall off a lot, but that's different body types that I can think of right off the bat. And if you think of any more that you want to add on here, just go ahead and do it. Number 4. Love these glasses. Just have to do a quick commercial myself for these Golden Harvest glasses. I love these. I love something with a handle, hold a lot of water. So I just need a drink because my throat gets really tired of talking.
That's good. Okay. So number 4, I'm going to talk about the TNT and get a little bit more into the TNT. Now, according to the Barbie Bazaar magazine, and this is not me, I read this, so if they're wrong, then I'm wrong. But I read this, so if they're wrong, then I'm wrong. But the TNT came out in just
a few hair colors. It came out in the Cocoa Go-Go, in the Sun Kissed, the Chocolate Bonbon, and the Summer Sand. And that was it. But over time, a lot of these dolls' hair have oxidized into some different colors, and this can make these dolls really more collectible and make the prices just really shoot up there. And one that's a little controversial is the redhead TNT. And I have a redhead TNT, and I have read that they did not make them in red. Why they turned red, I don't know, and I don't think nobody else knows unless you have one. And I don't think one has ever been found in a box unopened that says Titian on it. If they have, then the Barbie Bazaar is wrong, because they did not. They have been debating this themselves. Was there ever a redhead TNT? And there is a redhead TNT, and I read a whole article in the Barbie Bazaar how a lot of the dolls. It said it was so cute. It said, Barbie may be supposed to be a blonde, but it seems she really prefers to be a redhead, because so many of the colors that they did with blonde have turned shades of red, and some of them have turned other shades. But this is a undeniable red color, and it is a TNT face. And she's not supposed to come that color. So what color she was, I have no idea originally. If you have one that's in a box, never has opened, says the Titian on it, please share that, because I've seen this in articles, and I've seen this in magazines, and I've seen this by people who've been collecting for years and years and years, and they say they did not make them. Now, if you worked in a factory and you know better, I would like to know that. So who knows? I don't know, but I'm just repeating what I said. But anyway, let's move on. So here's a redhead TNT. Now, some of the other, which one of these, maybe you can determine which ones. I think this one is going to be the chocolate bonbon. I believe this would probably be a chocolate bonbon. This may be the summer sand, because it's a blondish color, but not really. Not a really blonde. I have one I think is that. And then there's this one I would think would be more of the Go-Go Cocoa. So let me hold all these. So these are the colors according to the magazine. And there's one more I get out. So there's one, let's see, the chocolate, the Go-Go Cocoa, and then the Summer Sand, and then Sun Kissed. And Sun Kissed is a really light blonde. And now this is the colors that I'm thinking that these dolls, this is what the magazine said. These 4 colors are what the dolls came in. And these are all a little different shades, so I'm thinking these must be the colors. Now, let me show you something. Just get off, of course, just a tad. This is really interesting. And did I get her? This is actually not a TNT. This is a standard. And I do have a TNT with a blonde, but I got the standard because I just wanted to show you something. I've talked about this doll on another video if you want to watch that one, but I gave her some extra hair. So when we go back to our terms, that one of a kind, this would be my one of a kind, and I have done a few one of a kinds of my own self. So she's got extra long hair. Her hair was really about to here, and I gave her this long hair, and I did 2 or 3 of these dolls, and I just added, and this is the amazing part. I bought a doll for $1 at a flea market, and it was probably a 90s doll, and that's the hair I used. And it is a complete, exact match for this doll's hair. So they're still using some of the exact same hair, the texture. I mean, you cannot tell in person where the new hair is and where the old hair is. So that I was really shocked when I saw that they still have some of the exact, they're still using some of the exact same hair, probably from the 90s that they were using in the 60s. So that was kind of an eye-opening moment for me, and I'm really happy because I was like, oh wow, I'm gonna give one of my dolls some really long hair, and but that one of a kind, back into the terms, one of a kind, that's what you call one of a kind. Number 5 is going to be a little quick one here. And I talked about the Marlowe Flip doll, and that is not the name. That was a name. The Marlowe Flip and the American Girl dolls were never really named that. Those became nicknames for those dolls. Marlowe Flip, of course, was named after the famous Marlowe Thomas because she wore that flip hairdo. Those were just twists and turns with different hairstyles. So the Marlowe Flip. And the American Girl was, the boxes did not say American Girl on them. They just were Barbie. But they had referred to her as the new American Girl doll in a magazine, and that kind of stuck. And so the American Girl doll became called the American doll. But these are not official names for these dolls. This is just Barbie with bend legs, and this was, well, my Marlowe was just TNT with the flip hair. Number 6, since I'm not only a Barbie doll channel, I'm going to talk about another doll that Mattel made, and I'm going to show you something interesting about that if you don't already know these facts. This is called rock flowers. These were little dolls. I'm going to show you how the size of these dolls compared to a regular Barbie. So these are small. These were put out by Mattel, and I only have 2 redheads. I have some that's the blondes, but they're not good. These are the ones that I have that's in the best shape. So they have glasses, and these are probably around 1970, I believe, when they did come out with the rock flower dolls. But this is a different doll, and it's just really wiry, and it's very bendable. If you've never seen these, I had not seen these till just about a year ago. So I just bought a box lot with some stuff, and it had some of these. I'm like, what are these dolls? So I finally figured out what they are, and then I started getting some outfits and some other lots or hauls, as they're commonly called on eBay. On YouTube. And I started getting some of the outfits, and I'm like, wow, I'm getting some. I never heard of these, and now all of a sudden I'm getting the dolls and the outfits in separate buys that I get. So these are 2 little cute outfits. Now this is something that I want to bring up as another little fact concerning these, and another reason I brought these up, not just because they're by Mattel, but there you can link some Barbie info with these. Mattel also made some, and I don't know about these outfits, but they made some outfits. They shared material. Okay, to make a long story short, they shared material between their dolls. So some of the dolls that you're going to find, the rock flowers, mostly they would make one outfit for a Barbie in this. And I'm going to show you a picture of one, and these are really hot right now. If you don't, and I'm bidding on one, and I'm going to show you the one that I'm going to be bidding on, and I hope I get it. But it's long halter top dresses, and I'm going to show you a picture of one that has sold. Now I don't know if they paid for this or not, but the price that they paid, it shows it's paid for, is pretty a whopping price in my book. But I'm going to show you that, and then the next picture is going to be one. It's from the Ken. This is live action Ken shirt, and they made the halter dress out of this material also, and these were Best Buy dresses. They don't have labels in them, but they've made a lot of different, and they're pretty rare. I don't think they made a whole lot of them, and they're selling between mostly $150 and except for this one, and you're going to see how much it sold for. But I'm putting a bid on one this week that's made out of this material, and we'll see if I get it. I probably won't because I got my limits on what I'll pay for a dress. But yeah, that's why I wanted to bring up the rock flowers. They're cute little dolls, and also there is some Barbie dresses that are called rock flower material in the halter dresses, and these halter dresses with all the different, like the Ken and the rock flowers and the talking PJ and all those are just really super hot right now on eBay, and they're going for some pretty good prices. So I have a couple of halter dresses. The ones I have are not as expensive, but I'll show you all those on a different video at a different time. But yeah, I'm putting a bid on one. Hope I get it.
Number 7. Number 7 is going to be a quickie. We're going to go through this real fast. A lot of people say when you wash your doll's hair, soak it in fabric softener, and I've tried that, and I've tried another thing. So I'm going to show you what product I use, and I think it works better. I've tried both. Another commercial, I guess you could say, for this product, but I use this Tresemme conditioner. It smells really good. But the fabric softener smells good too, and sometimes I'll dump them in the fabric softener, but I use this conditioner on my doll's hair, and I put it on there, and if it's really tangled, comb it while it's wet with running water with this soft stuff, gets tangles, gets it nice and smooth. I did that with this one. Her hair was really bad. I'm still working on getting it really smooth before I tie it up into the ponytail, but it will make their hair shiny, shinier than anything that I've ever used, and I love this stuff. So this is what I use on my Barbie's hair as a final conditioning, and I don't rinse it. Well, I'll wash it out and I rinse it, but then I'll put some on there, comb it, and I'll lay it down on a towel and let it dry with the conditioner in the hair. And then once it's dry, then I take it and I run cold water over it, and then maybe sometimes a little hot water just to make sure I get it all out, and it leaves their hair the shiniest that any other product that I've ever used that leaves it shiny. That leaves it the shiniest for me, so that's what I use.
Number 8. Now I've moved into a different location because I need to use a countertop. If you have a doll, after a while you just can't resist wanting to do a little touch up. So I'm going to show you, I got this one. Well, I got this one as a head, and I already had a body. So I'm putting this doll together and fixing this doll up slowly. So her nails need a touch up. Can you see her nails? So I'm going to show you how I do this, and I think I have a pretty steady hand, and I still can't even do this without messing up until I discovered this. And the first thing I'm going to do, since I've been working on her hair, is I'm going to remove her head because I don't want to get any paint on her hair. I'm going to move her head over there. If anything gets on the countertop, no big deal. It'll come right up. So I'm going to show you what I do. And nails are the easiest thing. Lips are really difficult. I've been working on that, and I'll show you. And I kind of use some of the same procedure and some coloring of the face, which I'm getting to where I can do. And I'll be sharing that in a future video. So if you want to know how to get that color back in, I think I'm getting that perfected. So I'm going to use this color, and this is just a Walmart color. It's not so expensive. And on the nails, it's not a big deal. You can take it back off if you don't like it. And it pretty much stays on, and it's not near as hard to do as lips, but this will make it so much easier. Instead of a brush, I get a Sharpie fine point pen. And I usually get it to where, if I have to use enough paint, it doesn't even mark anymore. Because if you try to use the marker material, especially, it'll bleed into the, especially on the lips, it'll bleed out, and then you've got that mess on your hands. So this fine tip Sharpie, and I'm going to put this down. I hope you can see this. If you can't, I'll show you her fingertips afterwards. So you just need a little, you just dip the pen. I put a little bit into the cap. You don't want much because these nails are so small. And you just barely have to hit it. And this is the only thing that I can find that's small enough to get a precise, I can get pretty precise on these. And like I said, the nails are just the easiest thing that if you want to start restoring or making your dolls look a little better, this is probably one of the easier things you can start with. But I tried it with a brush and I could not do it no matter how small my brush was. It wanted to get over onto the finger, and that took no time at all. And her fingers are, she's got nice, this is what color is this? It's not really, it's called Fruit Punch. So it's just in the red family, and I think it will look just fine. And it's not showing up really great on here. Hope it shows up better, but that's the easiest way to do it. And then just clean off your pen, and you may want to do it a second time. I think it looks pretty good. I may do it a second time. I'll let it dry, and not much of a mess, quick and easy. And that's my hack for nails. 9. The number 9 is just a little quick look at another doll, another standard doll. I just want to show you she has a platinum color, and I want to see the difference between the platinum and the Sun-Kissed. Now both of these are standards, even though this color would have came on a twist and turn, and also apparently a 90s doll, since I was able to find it. But this is going to be a standard Barbie in an OSS original swimsuit. And I may have said OOS earlier. If I did, delete that. It's OSS, original swimsuit, not OOS. But she's got really, really white hair, and her face is a bit faded. I'm going to be fixing that pretty soon, as I've came up with a way to do that. I've been practicing on some, and it's turned out pretty good. So I'm going to be giving her a little bit more color to her face, but I think this is the differences between the platinum and the Sun-Kissed Blonde, which is almost a platinum blonde. I thought it was platinum until I got out this one and realized, whew, this is the platinum. Must be the Sun-Kissed. So that's just the differences. Can't say that word very well. Between those two colors. And I have some other colors I'm just not even going to go into today that have oxidized. There's so many different colors and shades of red, and there's even a pinkish one with a pink blonde and one with an ash color blonde. So I'm not going to show those today. But my last one, number 10. And the last one, number 10, and I hope you made it to the end, because if you did, it's well worth it to see this doll. This is a doll that Lance had asked me about. He's a subscriber on my channel and wanted to know if I had this doll. And I think this is the doll that you're referring to. Maybe it's not. You need to let me know. They're called Canadian/European dolls. There's a few different types. I have a magazine here that shows a couple of them, and these are not the ones that I have. The one that I have is this one. He said a Steffi face. So this one is a Steffi face. She's really lightweight, little thinner material. She has stiff legs. Now this one does have a twist and turn waist. And she says, I think it was 1966 Korea. So I did buy her as a Canadian or European doll when I bought her, and I believe she did have on the yellow swimsuit. Could not find it, but And I can't find her in a book as of right now. I know I will if I keep looking. But there was a couple of more Canadian/European dolls. One had a red swimsuit on, which was a Barbie face, and another one with a two-piece blue outfit with a Steffi face. And I don't know if you just want to see these pictures right quick. This red one and this blue one down here. So those are the ones that I know that were probably the Canadian/European dolls. But this is the one that I was thinking that I have that you may have been talking about. Let me know if I got that right. Let me know if you have this doll. Do you like this doll? I think she's just adorable. And I love all my dolls. And thanks for watching. Hope you will come back, and I hope you can watch the whole thing through. I hope it didn't bore you too much. I hope you found it really interesting, because it's really so much fun learning about Barbies. Okay. Good day. And happy Barbie hunting.